my channel, and if you are new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today I'm going to show you how to get this sultry, bronzy, glam, fun, summertime makeup tutorial. That was a mouthful. Look at how the sunlight is hitting my rose quartz back there. So cool. So yes, today I'm going to show you how to get this makeup tutorial. I will say that this is a recreation of Kaylee MUA. She is so talented. If you're not following her, honestly, like, I don't know what you're doing with yourself, so I will have her linked down below. I was just like obsessed with how this eye looked on her, so I wanted to see how it would look on me, and like, hello, I'm obsessed with it. I changed a couple things around, did things just a little bit different than her video, but all credit goes to her. Of course, she is a makeup genius. But if you would like to see how I got this look, we're going to go ahead and get into it. Of course, this is perfect any time of the year, but as summer is coming to an end, I just feel like this is a perfect like end to summer. Like, look how bronzy and glowy I am, and glamorous and fabulous. And this makeup will make you feel some type of way after you get it on. So let's go ahead and get into it. To start off, I'm busting open my Friendcation palette by Dose of Colors, and I'm taking the color Churro. It's this nice medium brown. Tapping off the excess, I am going to pick that up on a Morphe M433, and I am just placing this in the very outer third of my eye in the crease. I'm also going to drag it down a little bit onto my lid. And then I'm just mostly laying this down, and then I will start to work on blending it out. For an eye base, I'm just using my P. Louise base today. Nice, still getting used to it. If you haven't checked out my primer video, be sure to check that out. I compare the P. Louise base to the Anastasia base. And here to soften that, because it's a little bit more intense than what I was going for, I just went in with a clean fluffy brush to fluff out the edges. If you wanted to wing this up to give yourself a cat eye shape, you could. I kept mine a little bit more on the rounded side. So blend it out. That kind of smoked about halfway through the eye shape. And then now, to blend that a little bit further, I'm going to take the shade Necessary. This is going to act as our transition shade. Using the same brush, I'm just going to place that a little bit above where Churro ended, and I'm just using this to drag truly to the halfway point, almost bringing it like 3/4 of the way in, and I'm just going to work on blending that up and out, but I'm not going to smoke it too far out quite yet. So here you can see the difference. It's just going to help build the color up and then just also add that nice smoked out effect. I'm just using light pressure and small circular motions for this step. This next step is such a good trick. This is definitely Kaylee's tip. I'm just taking my bronzer, which is Physician Formula's Butter Bronzer in the shade Light. And again, I'm just using the same brush here. You can clean it off if you want to. You can use separate brushes. It's all up to you and what your preference is. I'm just being lazy here, so I'm just using the same brush. And I'm using this bronzer in the inner corner, and then I'm going to start buffing that into the other colors. And then now with the bronzer color, I'm also going to go on that edge to smoke it out further. And this is just a perfect shade to tie this all in together. I'm obsessed with the effect that this gave. So you could just see how on the eye I just did, it just lightly puffs up and puffs out. There's like no harsh lines or anything. Everything is just nicely smoked out. Again, light pressure and circular motions is key for this look. In Kaylee's video, she has stopped at the 3 colors, but I want to add a little bit more depth. I'm taking Chins, which is a nice deeper brown, and I'm actually switching over to a Morphe 506 blending brush. I'm going to use this for eyeliner and to deepen the crease just the slightest bit. I am just using small dabbing motions, slight back and forth motions when I get to the outer corner, but this is how I apply shadow as liner. It just really adds a nice smoky, messy effect to the look. And I just took the smallest amount in the outer corner, and then I'm going to go back with the original 433 and blend that out. But I just really like to have a softer, hazier eyeliner effect. If you wanted to wing it out and use a liquid liner, that's great too. It's just what I prefer to do. It is time to add all the sparkle. I'm using sparkle and shimmers from different palettes. This is Alyssa Edwards ABH, and I'm taking the shade Inspire, a pretty gold. So any gold tone shimmers you have works. Like I said, you don't need these exact products, these exact colors. Anything that you have in your collection that's similar will work great. I love applying a shimmer with a finger. I feel like it gives the best payoff. So I'm going to build this up a couple layers. I'm really going to focus it on my lid, but I'm also going to bring it up into my crease. And normally you don't bring colors into your crease, but it just gives a really pretty effect and makes your eye look larger. And I'm just really happy and kind of obsessed with putting shimmer in the inner corner of my crease. In Kaylee's look, she kept it pretty bright and gold and shimmery and light. I wanted to have a little bit of a taupey color in my crease, so I'm actually reaching into the Riviera palette and taking the shade Yacht, and I'm just going to apply over the shade Inspire, but I'm not going to apply a lot, just like a subtle sheen of this taupe shade over Inspire, and I just really like the effect that it gave and the way that it looked. And I'm dragging this about halfway through my lid. I went a little bit overboard here on this side with the shimmer, but I'll show you how to correct that in just a second. So here you can see the difference between the gold and then just adding a little bit of dimension with the taupey shade. It is quite the simple fix. If you go too far with your shimmer, just take your blending brush and blend the edges. And I recommend doing this regardless so the shimmer isn't so harsh. It just looks like it naturally fades into the matte shades. Back into the Friendcation palette we go to pick up Just a Kiss, and again I am going to do a light layer of this just to add a little bit of, a sprinkle of super shimmer and glitter to the lid. This shade is just magic. Honestly, if you don't have the Friendcation palette, I highly, highly recommend it. I don't like telling people what to buy and what they need, but this palette is just magic. The mattes are such a great formula. They're easy to work with, easy to blend. The shimmer is just absolutely stunning, and you can just see how much more dimension I added to the look just by adding that bit, and putting it into the crease just adds a whole new effect to the eye. One of the last steps for now for the upper lash line is this Game of Thrones Dragon Smoke liner. Any liner would work. I'm just obsessed with this. I think Urban Decay has a really great formula when it comes to their pencil liners. It's easy to smudge out. So I have my pencil brush. This is an E36 by Morphe on standby. So once I get this on my line, I'm just going to, once I get it on my lid and have the line down, I'm just going to smudge it out. This has like a little bit of purple in it, and it has reflex, and it's such a gorgeous like dark charcoaly shade. I'm obsessed with it. I'm just doing this to darken up the lash line just a little bit more because I am going to be wearing falsies just to have like that dark seamless lash line. A thin line of liquid liner would look good too, but that's just what I chose to do. And I'm also bringing this down to my waterline right now, kind of decreasing because I also put primer on my lower lash line, but I pop this into the waterline, and then I'm also going to smudge it under the lashes. And then again, while it's still not set, I'm going to smudge it out with a pencil brush, and I'll show you the difference of just putting an eyeliner in your waterline and then bringing it down to the lash line and actually blending it out. So we'll see what that looks like in just a second. So here you can see what the difference is of just applying something to your waterline and leaving it, and then actually blending it out and blending it into the shadow. It's just kind of sitting there, but once you smudge and blend it around the lash line, it just looks more smoky and more cohesive. Going back into Churro, I am just going to set the liner and blend it out a little bit more with the same pencil brush. I am going to drag this pretty far out. I like a pretty smoky lower lash line from inner corner to outer corner, and then I also like to connect my outer corner to what's going on in my crease for a cohesive look. We are taking a quick pause from the eyes to do the face before we finish up the eyes. So I'm going to be using my Tarte Concealer foundation, but before I get to that, I'm going to spot conceal with my Tarte Shape Tape, and then I'm going to go in with foundation afterwards. I already have my face primed with my Smashbox primers. I use a Radiance primer in the No Pore Photo Filter Primer, I believe it is. And if you guys are interested in the Tarte foundation, I do have a review that will be linked up above and also down below for you to check out. I do a wear test in the hot 110-degree desert heat to see if it's really sweat proof and if it will last. So be sure to check that out if you haven't seen it yet. I'm using my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Vanilla, and I will be setting my face with my RCMA No Color Translucent Powder. I'm just leaving a very slight bake under my eyes and on my nose while I bronze and contour. So I'm going back in with the Butter Bronzer. I just use a powder brush to do this, and I just like doing upward motions. I just think it applies better that way, and I just hit my cheekbones, my forehead with the bronzer. I've been using this bronzer for years and it has yet to let me down when I'm fair, and now that I actually have a tan, it still works for me, and I'm really grateful for that, so I didn't need to buy another new product. For contour, I'm just going in a little bit with the shade Sculpt by Tarte. It's a nice cool toned contour, which is what I personally enjoy. So I just hit that a little bit above where my bronzer is. I contour my forehead with this. I'm also going to go ahead and carve out my jawline with the contour, and then I also use it on my nose as well. I will admit, I do go in a little bit heavy-handed, but that's just my personal preference. Obviously, you don't need to pile stuff on like I do. So for blush, I am using my Tarte blush in the shade Partay. I kind of go in with this a little bit more. I will dip into it about 2 or 3 times. Normally I'm not really a blush person, so I'm trying to put more of it on to see if I like it or not, but I mainly love the shade of this blush because it's a very muted rose, so it's not going to stand out too much. And I think it just blends in nicely with my bronzer and contour. I try to be pretty precise when applying these powder products, but sometimes if I really want to have a cut cheekbone, I will go in with more of the powder and just take my sponge, apply that line, let it sit for a minute or 2, and then wipe it away. This is low-key, high-key video for the Desi and Katie collab with Dose of Colors, because now I'm going in from their first collab with the highlighter shade Mirame, and I'm just taking a big powder brush and I am stamping this onto my cheekbones because I like having a little bit of sheen on my cheeks, and I will kind of build that up and bring it onto the rest of my cheekbone area because I'm a little bit more tan now, so I can do that with this shade. But you can just see it just adds a nice sheen to your cheeks, and I just feel like it helps the regular highlighter flow more when you have it connected onto the apples of your cheeks. It's all personal preference, my friends. I've been using the same highlighters for so long, so I'm so excited to finally be using these. This is in the shade Fuego. I just do light circular motions. It kind of helps keep it right on the actual top point of your cheekbone. And I'm just obsessed with these highlighters. They're truly so beautiful. And I just was never really able to wear these before because I was so pale. So I'm happy that I am finally able to enjoy them. We are nearing the end, my friends. It's all about smaller details, so I'm just taking Fuego. I'm putting that on my brow bone. This is why I save my eyebrows for last, because I get foundation in there, I get powders in there, I get eyeshadow in there, so it's just easier to save it to last. And I'm also going to put this in the inner corner and connect it up into the crease, and this just looks so stunning in person. I can't get over it. Wish the camera picked it up a little bit better, but I'm obsessed with this just super golden look on the eyes, super bronzy and fun. Also, a quick side note, I kind of hate doing voiceovers because I feel like I just keep talking and talking and talking, so I'm sorry, but I'm going back into Necessary one last time, zooming you in. I am taking a 506 brush, I cleaned it off, and we are just going to blend. So now that we put concealer and powder and everything, this is going to help blend the shadow without having any weird lines or demarcations. And again, I just kind of connect that right up into the crease. So here you see the difference, just a simple step to get a super smoky effect. All right, I am back, and I want to give you guys a quick little tip about lashes and applying them. If you're just going to be hanging out, not really doing too much activity, I want to give you a little bit of a cheat. Because let's face it, lash glue is a pain in the butt to get off. That's why I don't wear lashes all the time, because it's so annoying. So this is a crusty, dusty pair of Ardell Wispies. This is the Ardell glue. So this kind of has some tackiness on it because I haven't exactly cleaned glue off of it, probably like the last 2 times I wore it. So it's a little bit tacky. I can get away with just putting them on with no glue at all if I just want to film a video really fast or do pictures. They normally stay on. But I'm just going to be going out to dinner, so what I'm going to do, because I don't feel like picking glue off my lid for hours tonight, I'm just going to take a dot on the inner corner, a dot on the outer corner, and then I'm also going to put a little bit in the middle, but I'm just really going to make sure I get those corners built up pretty nicely. And I'm gonna give this about 20 seconds-ish to dry. So you could take your fan, do that. You just don't want this to be super wet, but you don't want it to get too tacky either. It's all about finding that happy medium. So I like to lay my lashes down in the middle first, not have them stick to my tweezers. And then I'm going to mess around with the ends. Come on, stick. Inner corners are always the most annoying. I just literally have to hold it on there as it's drying. So if you're not gonna lay down like a full thing of glue and you just kind of want them on there, you're really going to need to smash your natural lash into the falsie to help blend them. And because it's kind of already a little bit dirty with glue and a little bit dirty with mascara from blending before, it's just gonna help everything mash together naturally. So here I am with the illusion of a full lash, and I just used the tiniest amount of glue. I'm really gonna have nothing to pick off my lash line. So like I said, if you're just kind of chilling, going out to dinner, not really doing a lot, not gonna be in a windy environment, that's just kind of a quick way to put lashes on without the hassle of picking glue off of your eyelids for days to come. So to finish off the look, I just have my Morphe Love Bite lip liner on. I just kind of blended out the edges, and now I'm taking the Dose of Colors Gloss in the shade The Most, because I just want a hint of like fiery red. I love, what is it called? Over the Top. I love Over the Top, but I feel like I want to have a little bit of like a pink gold moment for a little bit more color besides just the gold bronze theme. Ooh, I'm obsessed. These glosses are absolutely bomb if you can get your hands on them. Love them. Do you guys love how this is like low-key, like a Dose of Colors, Katie and Desi collab video? Oh my god. The products are good, what can I say? That is gonna wrap it up for today's video. What do you guys think about this chair that I have in my background? I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like my other chair is like a smaller chair. It's in the other room. I've been too lazy to wheel it back in here, and this is just so comfortable. So let me know, do you like the chair? Should I go back to the other chair? Let me know your thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that you give it a try. Let me know, tag me in your photos. I would love to see your recreations. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Be sure to check out my other videos if you aren't caught up. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.